Hello, you bunch of sexy bastardos. Welcome to another shiny special episode. It's not that special. We just actually scheduled it and sat down to do it because we haven't done one for ages. Episode of Stace and Barry in the morning. We're coming at you with all of the geeky reviews and the news and all the stuff you want to hear about things. And I'm the Stace half of Stace and Barry in the morning. Joining me on our virtual sofa of early morning geeky nonsense is my delightful partner in crime, big bro, Barry Noogecake. Hello.
Hello, and now I've got to run off because I think someone's just knocked on my door.
Someone's knocked on Barry's
Hi, God.
door.
Stace, fill in.
Fill in with what? I'm just gonna vow. I'm gonna leave a message here for Barry for when he edits this. I think you should know that I think you're fantastic, and I'm really, really glad that back in the day I started listening to Comic Geek Speak, and that led me to the Geek Syndicate forums, which led me to you and Dave, because I wouldn't have a podcast if that hadn't have happened. And also, the Geek Syndicate forum was one of the nicest places I've ever experienced on the internet, and that was largely because yourself and Dave are two of the nicest dudes that have ever been on the internet, I think. So thank you for that and for being great. And I love you. Maybe don't keep all of this in because it's quite rambly. Here he is.
I have no idea what's going on. I think someone knocked on my door. I ran upstairs. I saw a big van. Van seems to be parking. I don't know what's going on. It really annoys me because I have a Ring doorbell.
Yeah.
But delivery drivers seem to think just ignore it.
Just
Why
knock
would
on
I
the
use
door
a Ring
instead.
doorbell when I can just knock on the door?
Maybe they're like me and they just don't like their visages caught on camera.
The thing is, it doesn't matter because even when you step up to the door, it captures you anyway.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, I don't know then. I've got no explanation for that. Anyway, I left you a lovely message while you were gone. Or did I?
Did you?
You'll never know until you do the editing. Anyway, hello. Yes, it's Stace and Barry in the morning, season 5, episode 22, the finale of season 5, the season that's been going on for what feels like maybe a couple of years. But let us off because we're pretty.
We are.
Yeah.
Stunning.
Excellent. How you doing, B? How's it hanging?
Oh, for God's sake, right, it is my door.
Hello.
Oh, to recap. Knock on my door.
Uh-huh.
I go up there. There's no fucker there.
Yep.
I then come back downstairs. Have a little bit of banter. Door goes again. I run upstairs because obviously he's upstairs. I'm a bit out of breath. And then there is someone there now.
Mm-hmm.
And then he says, "Can you take these parcels for next door?" So they're not even fucking parcels for me. No.
It's not even for you. That's so rude. Do you want a little breather?
I know, and people can see that I'm literally dressed like Rocky with my got a hat and big hoodie on, like I'm like all in shape and stuff, and clearly I'm not quite as in shape as I thought. Followed by a flight of stairs.
I was going to say nothing will humble you like a set of stairs, mate.
Yeah.
When I was like just before I got married and I was like fully going to the gym all the time and I was like the fittest I've ever been. Like if I was at my office and the lift broke and we were on the 3rd floor, like halfway up, I'd be like, oh, I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it. Like, I'm like 1.5 floors up. I'm not going to, oh my God, I'm going to have to call my boss and come and tell her to come and get me off the stairs. Like,
no.
Half dead. Because stairs are the devil is what I've decided. Anyway, should we do a little bit of an actual podcast? Yeah.
Yes. See enough excitement for one podcast.
I was just going to say,
where are you going to get a delivery from now?
I was just
Fucking
going to say
hell.
it's going to be hilarious when you like try and edit this down because you're either going to have to keep it all in and people are going to be like, "What the fuck is this?" or you're going to cut it down and it's going to be so small it'll be like we've had no bants and people will be like, "Have Stace and Barry had a falling out?
Yeah.
What's happened?"
They've literally introduced themselves and gone straight into segments.
Yeah, let's have a
Ah,
trumpet.
dear, oh
Oh
dear.
dear, right, here we go. Shall we do a pick of the fortnight?
Go on then.
Let's do a pick of the fortnight. I'll let you go first because I've already done a lot, unless you need the breather.
No. Wow.
I'm just
Wow.
trying to be a caring
Some
co-host.
low-key shame for getting chucked out there.
Mate, if I'd run up the stairs twice in the space of a couple of minutes, I would be like, Barry, you're fielding this whole episode, mate. Give me 20 minutes at least.
Um, so my so my pick of the fortnight, which I had written down originally, has since changed
Oh,
within the last sort of, I don't know, half an hour.
okay.
And the thing that I've picked, I haven't even finished watching it yet, and yet I feel strongly enough for that to be my pick of the fortnight.
Okay.
Because the minute we finish here, I am going back to finish watching it. So my pick is, he says, going to the hastily found link on it, um, is Predator Killer of Killers.
That's mine too. Yeah.
Yay!
Great minds.
Great minds.
Great minds. So which bit are you up to, just so that I know not to spoil anything? I wasn't going to spoil purposefully anyway because it's so new, but just in case.
Well, what I'll say is, for people who don't know, so basically Predator Killer of Killers is a animated film which was directed by Dan Trachtenberg, who I think
Hmm.
he did
Pray.
Prey, yeah,
Yeah,
which I loved.
me
Absolutely
too.
loved that film. And it's a kind of well, so far anyway, although it looks like it might kind of all join up, but at the moment it looks to be a kind of anthology featuring different time periods, and each period has got they're having to deal with a different predator. However, in many ways, the predator is kind of like the background to the actual story that's going on
Hmm.
that I've found so far. So at the moment, so I've watched two stories.
Yeah.
The first story is about Vikings, and that's all I'll
Hmm.
say. And the second story is set in Japan and is awesome. I don't even want to say anything more about the second episode. I mean, to be honest, the two that I watched, I loved.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Vikings, and I'm just gonna
Predators.
say it's Vikings and ninjas. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
Predators. And I saw the trailer for it, and I thought this looked really good anyway. I must watch it. And then I kind of forgot it dropped last week, I think.
Hmm.
So I kind of put it on over lunch today. I thought, oh, I'll just I'll have a quick little look at it. And I was like, within about 5 minutes, I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah. Same.
This is awesome.
When I saw the trailer, I was a bit worried about it because I liked the idea of it being like sort of predators through the ages type thing. But I wasn't 100% sold on the animation in the trailer.
Oh yes, I remember you said that.
There was some sort of like herky jerkiness about it that wasn't sitting right in my eyeballs.
Yeah.
And I was like, am I going to be able to watch a whole film of this? And this was yet another case of Stace having to have a meal of her own words because, like, within about 3 minutes, I was like, yeah, this is great, isn't it? So it's so cool. Like it look the animation is like it's so good.
Yeah.
What I love about it is that it is so amazingly violent.
Isn't it? I was quite surprised by quite, especially the opening story with the Vikings. And all I'm saying is two shields for the win. That's all I'm saying.
Ugh.
But I was kind of like, there was a lot of well, he's not getting up again ever.
Yeah, yeah. I was, yeah. Like immediately, I turned to Rich and I was like, "This might be one of the coolest things I've ever seen." Like it's so because it's just like the aesthetics of it, like the character design, the backgrounds all look gorgeous, and then there's just like blood everywhere
Yeah,
and
and
bits and viscera, and you're like,
and also
oh.
as well, which is a kind of like it sounds like a criticism, and it isn't. And as I said, I'm only two stories in. I don't know how many stories there are, and again, it looks like they're linked up. Um, is that I found that it wasn't enough.
Do you know, I actually, in my letterbox review, I put this is the very, very rare occasion that I would quite like a little bit longer of a film, actually.
Yeah,
Because it's quite rare that I ever say a film is too short. But I could quite happily have watched. I mean, the second one for me was the one that, because I am a Japanese like fan wanker, and
yeah,
I love a bit of Japan, and this is set like just post feudal Japan. Like I think it's supposed to be like Edo period Japan, and it's got that aesthetic that I love. It's all the the proper like samurai gear with the ornate helmets and the like beautiful deadly swords and stuff. I loved that the one guy busted out a kusarigama at one point because I was like, that is a fucking badass weapon, lads. That's like the little scythe on a chain.
oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was just like, that is so cool. Just completely lost my mind at it. But again, it was just like, and it was one of the things I loved about that as well was like the sound design. Like, there's a bit where they're like fannying around on like tiled rooftops, and the sound of those tiles
Yeah.
is such a satisfying set. I was like, oh, it's so perfect. I could have watched like a whole film of that guy.
Well, I found both of them because I love the Vikings TV
Yeah.
series, and I thought both of those two stories you could have given me because they're kind of they basically condensed a story within a story, and then you've got the Predator in there.
Yeah.
But each of those stories I thought was so the setup was so well done and so engaging that I was like, I could have taken a 90-minute film with the Vikings. I could have taken a 90-minute film with the ninja
Yeah.
easily. And you still have the Predator in there and still have all that going on. Maybe you could have a little bit more Predator stuff going on, maybe. But sadly, we sort of didn't get that. I mean, what we got is glorious. But I genuinely think for me, and it sounds a big thing to say because Predator is one of my favorite films.
Mm-hmm.
I love Predator. And I equally love Predator 2. I do love Predator 2. After that, up until Prey, it's a sliding scale for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I loved Prey, but the rest of them, I'm not. I'm just forgettable is the word I would use. I'm not saying they were all awful, but they were all forgettable because none of them really stand out in my mind.
Mm.
And I think it's whereas I feel like this Dan Trachtenberg guy and whoever's done the screenplay, I don't know if they're the same person, maybe who did. Oh no, Dan Trachtenberg also did the story along with Miko Robert Rutari, I think. So he's directed it, so he's got his hands in all the pies,
Mm.
and it really, really showed. I think it didn't feel so far anyway. Where I think is where the other ones go wrong is basically the other ones just take a kind of template of the first Predator
Mm.
and they basically just try and rejig it a little bit, but effectively they're just doing Predator again. And I'm like, we've already done that and it's really
And we
good.
did it amazingly. Yeah.
Yeah.
We
So it's
don't
kind
need
of,
to.
oh, well, we'll do Predator for aliens. Everyone wants to see that. No, I didn't need to see that, to be honest. I
No.
was. Whereas this one, I think by having a different time periods is a great idea.
Mm.
But actually taking the time to actually have a decent story in the short amount of time that you've got for each one and then using the predator in the right way because the predator is almost kind of just there to sort of like I'm just waiting to see who I need to be killing, so it lets the
Yeah.
story play out to kind of go, okay, this is the baddest person, that's the one I'm going for. So yeah, yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna have to talk to you when you finished it and see what you think about the
Yes.
rest of it because yeah, I absolutely loved it. Me and Rich watched it yesterday, and I was just like, as soon as it finished, I was like, that's like up there a lot, like very close behind Predator for me, and I love Predator. But like you, I mean, I can take or leave a lot of the others. They've had some good bits, but they've had some like shit bits.
Yeah.
And what I liked about this as well was that we got to see sort of like different predators, because what we usually get in Predator is just
Yeah.
like a guy-sized predator. Which I realise is because they keep a lot of it has been kept with practical effects, which is great, which means you are limited to having an actor. But like, there's some like big beefy boys in this. There's like tall gangly lads. There's
Yeah.
like ones that specialise in like explosives. There's ones that are more, I'm not going to say because it's coming up in the next story. But like, I like the fact that we get to see predators that aren't just like that one predator we always see
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
which is really, really nice. And yeah, like I loved everything about. I liked the score was really good too. They use a lot of like the themes from Predator, but sort of mixing them into the correct like sort of time period. And I was very much sold on it as soon as we finished. I was like, yeah, it's good. It's
Yep.
really good.
Yep. That is good.
Excellent.
But he's done another film. He's doing called Predator Badlands.
Yes, I believe so. And to be honest, at this point, I don't even care what's happening in that because I trust him.
Yeah.
Trust him with those predators.
it could be Predator in Tesco's. If he's doing it, I'd still watch it.
Yeah,
and it'd
same.
probably still be amazing. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm totally down with that. Thank you very much.
I was just about to go, what was your pick?
But that was it. Yeah, that was it. You stole it from me. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's very exciting. So yeah, I was gonna say like the reason I picked it as well was because I thought you would love it. So if you haven't seen it already, I was gonna force you to.
Likewise. And I just felt, the whole concept of like Pickard Fortnite is like, what is that show, or game or whatever it is that everyone needs to know about. And originally, the one I had originally picked, so just a quick honorable, was Invincible because I'd finally caught up on it.
Oh, okay.
And I'd really, really enjoyed it. But for me, as I said, given the fact Invincibles have many seasons, and I really enjoyed. Whereas this one, I've done like half an hour, and I was like, no, everyone needs to watch this.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
it's really great. Excellent. Well, let's bust out some trumpets and we can move on to our musical musings.
Do it.
Jazz. Hey, so I finally watched Sinners.
I haven't seen it.
I'm not going to say anything about it. Well, that's the people will say, Stace, how on earth did you pick Predator Killer of Killers as your pick of the fortnight when you've seen Sinners, which is objectively a better movie? But first of all, I enjoyed it probably just as much. Don't shout at me. But also, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, and I also don't want to be that guy who puts something on too high of a pedestal for everybody else. Because that is absolutely what happened to me with Sinners. It is still amazing. I still gave it 4.5 stars. Don't come at me, internet. But it was very overhyped for me. But I'm telling you this now because my musical musing is from the Sinners score. Now, I'm not going to spoil the film, but I will say that a really, really large theme of the film is like the power of music as an art form to resist or create community or share stories and experiences. And so music plays like a huge fucking part in the film. The score is by our old friend Ludwig Göransson.
Ooh.
And it's bluesy. What I love about it is that he actually went out and bought like a really, really old, I want to say like 1930s style blues guitar, the ones with the big silver resonator discs that make everything a little bit distorted and cool.
Yeah.
He actually went out and bought one of those to try and get a more sort of authentic bluesy sound. The track that I've picked is called Smokestack Twins, and it comes relatively early in the film. And the reason I've picked this song over most of the others is because some of them are such powerful pieces of music, but only alongside the visuals of the film.
Okay.
That I don't want to ruin that experience for people by suggesting they listen to any of these other pieces first. So this isn't necessarily my favourite track of the album, but it does a really great job of sort of setting up like laying down motifs that get picked up later in the film and sort of setting up the personality of the film. And I read an interview with Göransson, sorry, ugh, can't pronounce anything today, where he was talking about how like one of the things he wanted to do was sort of build the score up as the film is built up. So it starts kind of acoustic-y and mostly just guitar, maybe the odd like harmonica here and there. And then as the film goes on, like he starts adding strings, and then he'll start adding other bits of the orchestra, and then an electric guitar. So like by the end of the movie, there's like a full like whomp of sound that's coming at you. But one of the reasons I picked this piece is because I think I actually quite like the simplicity of it. It is mostly just that one sort of old 1930s guitar, and it just, I love blues music anyway. I think it's wonderful. And it's just genuinely like a really fantastic piece of music that just sets up like the whole film.
Okay.
And I'm going to stop there because I don't want to ruin anything else for anybody else. But you should all go and see Sinners. It's really, really good.
I do plan to see it at some stage, but I feel it's been so hyped for me now that it moves into a category where I'm like, okay, I will watch it, but
Yeah.
it needs to be with the hype dialed down for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I was burnt by that a little bit because I was like, all of the sort of talk about it on the internet I saw was like, it's going to change the face of cinema forever. And I mean, it is like I'm not trying to say it's like not amazing because it is, but it was like the same thing happened to me with Everything Everywhere All at Once when people were like, no, this is the new future of cinema. Like once you've seen this, you'll never go back to regular old movies. And then I went to see it and I was like, it was really good, like literally a 5-star movie, but like simmer down, yeah. like it's really good. But yeah, so Sinners did suffer from a little bit of that for me. But one of the things I do like about it is all the little bits that you notice, and I'm quite excited to watch it a second time once I've had that remove of time for a bit to pick up on some of the smaller bits. Because like for example, one of the bits I did notice is there's like I was saying, music is like a really big part of the film, and there's a bit where somebody's like lighting a match, and the guitar strums to the 3 strikes that she does
Oh, okay.
match on the matchbox and I bet there's loads of that I just like didn't even notice because I was too busy like ogling all the beautiful people in the film and ogling all the cinematography and but yeah, so I'm quite excited to watch it again, and I do recommend people watch it, but yeah, maybe give it a little bit of space to settle.
So good pick. Good
Cheers,
pick.
Bab.
My pick once again has changed. But both of the picks both of these picks are very old pieces of music. And the first one I think probably would have struggled to find it on Spotify. But I'm still going to pick it. I'm still going to pick it today. The one that I have picked because, and I can hear people that know me just screaming, going to be screaming, going, "How did you not know this?" But I genuinely, 100% did not know that this composer did this theme to one of my favorite films. Unless I'm now thinking, have I already picked it? And have we already had this conversation? I'm going to say it anyway, and then you'll go, "You've already picked this B," and I'll be like, "Okay," and then I've got backup.
You are absolutely putting too much faith in my memory.
Yeah, but it'll be on the
it'll be on the spreadsheet.
It'll be on the spreadsheet. So, one of my favorite films is The Towering Inferno.
Okay. I don't know if we've had this conversation before.
Okay, let's keep rolling and see where we end up. So I've picked the main theme from The Towering Inferno. Hmm? Do you know who did the main theme for The Towering Inferno?
I don't.
Right. John Williams.
Okay. I mean, yeah, we should know that really, shouldn't we?
I mean, there's plenty of stuff that John Williams would have done that I won't know. But the fact that, like, Towering Inferno is like one of my favorite. I remember watching it as a kid, loved the film. You should leave. You're listening to this. If you do it on, I've forgotten what it's called now.
It's just called Never Seen.
Never seen. I'm there. I don't know if I could live through you going, I didn't like it. I don't know. I don't know if I could take it with. It was bad enough from Magnificent Seven, but I mean, you did it Towering Inferno, and I think we're about done.
Oh no, I don't want to end our friendship.
But I loved it. It was such a like star-studded cast for the time, compared to like if you were to do the Towering Inferno now with today's kind of Hollywood today, I don't think they'd be able to afford it.
Yeah.
With the amount of stars, because you had like Paul Newman and you had Steve McQueen were like the two kind of big leads.
Yeah.
And then at that time, if I showed you all the actors when I was a kid, I was like, I know that person, I know that person, I know that person. It's kind of like, you know, when they did Ocean's 11 with Clooney and all that. It's a bit, and kind of everyone was someone famous. It was like that.
Yeah.
And it was a fantastic disaster movie. Some great one-liners. And I watch it pretty much every year. Dave normally watches it as well, normally once a year, and then we kind of swap because it's quite a long film, so I tend to watch it over a couple of days and just message Dave back and forth, going, "What bit are you on?" But the music is wicked in it, and obviously it was because it's done by John Williams.
Yeah, of course.
Who knew? Who knew? I'm now worried that this is gonna go out and people are gonna come back and go, he didn't do it. I don't know.
Oh,
but I'm sticking to my guns.
Fair enough.
Now that I kind of went and looked and it said that he'd done it, it makes sense when I listen back to the theme.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of like, no, it does sound, it's very John Williams. See, I have to go and look.
Just do a little quick check just to make sure. Don't Google AI it though, because it'll probably tell you some straight up bullshit.
Yeah, no, Towering Inferno main theme, John Williams. Released in 1974, before he did Jaws. I mean, nonsense. Nonsense.
That man's catalogue is ridiculous.
I know.
Like,
see, this feels like a proper season finale. We've got like musical musings changing midstream and shockers and twists.
Secret messages while you're running up and down some stairs.
Yeah, pick of the fortnights that are just changing at the last minute, and then we both pick the same pick of the fortnight.
It's good, eh? Well, on that note, shall I do some trumpets and we can do a little bit of geek all about it with news about the podcast?
Yes.
Okay. Extra, extra, geek all about it. Hello. That's my little kid selling newspapers type voice. Cool, blimey, governor. So
Towering Inferno, done by John Williams.
Man who says he knows loads about soundtracks didn't fucking know that though, did he?
Fuck all.
Bit of an idiot, actually. No, I love you. Hey, so I just said we've got some news about the podcast and then realised that I sort of left it hanging a little bit there and people are probably going, oh my God, are they breaking up or something? No, we're not. We're not. Don't worry about it. We're still here. What's happening is we're going to go monthly, and to some people, they will say, Stace, don't you do fewer podcasts than that? Anyway, right, listen, this podcast is supposed to be fortnightly. But Barry and I are, I was going to say shit, but what I'll actually say is like, you know, super important, incredible people with just absolutely ramtacular lives full of wonders and whimsies and japes, meaning that we just don't record as often as we should. So we thought, right, let's go monthly because then maybe we'll actually stick to a schedule and you will actually get an episode at least once a month.
Yeah.
Gore blimey.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be a turn up?
I know. So that's one little bit of news. Hopefully that hasn't saddened anybody too hard. We are still here. We're still going to be on the internet, making noises, being sillies, and all the usual. So it's fine.
It's all good. It's all good.
Do you have any actual nerdy news? Because I've got a wee bit that I was going to share.
Yeah, I've got two bits. So one is there's a new James Bond game coming out, which I'm quite excited about,
Oh, yeah.
called First Light, which is I think the reason I'm really excited about it is it's being done by the people who created Hitman.
Oh, okay.
So, which is basically a Bond game anyway.
Yeah.
It's just he's bald and it's a bit more stealthy. So what I'm quite looking forward to is actually having the kind of Hitman dynamics, but also with more action in there
Mm.
as well. But they dropped a trailer, and my thing now with game trailers is even though like it had a lot of sort of like video, if you get what I mean, which looked good. My thing is I need to see gameplay.
Yeah,
What I
yeah,
don't want is like 10 minutes of like some full motion video or whatever, which looks great. It's all cinematic trailer. That's it. You know, it's all lovely to give me a cinematic game trailer, but I'm like, but what is the game going to look like?
yeah, yeah,
But this one was good because it kind of did both. It gave you the sort of cinematic stuff, but then like right, it kind of interspersed it with actual gameplay, and I was like, okay, no, that looks good. I'm all right with that. It looks tasty. So it's going to be like a prequel, like an origin story for Bond. And what I found quite funny is apparently a load of people were kicking off, going like, "Why does he look like that? Why has he got?" Because he's got like a scar, a bit of a scar. But apparently, I mean, I haven't really, Ant would know, but in the books, he actually does have a scar.
hmm
Um, so yeah, I don't know when it's out, but I'm looking forward to it.
Excellent. I had a little bit of gaming news actually that I don't have much information on it, but I just thought you
I bet you
specifically would
do.
want to know. Which is that the Ghost of Tsushima that you really enjoyed. There's like a second one coming out called Ghost of Yotei, and they
Yes.
released a tasty little trailer for that the other day too.
Oh, did they?
And they did, yeah. That's why I thought I'd bring it up in case you hadn't seen it. It's very teasy. Like there's there's very little there, but it's teasy enough to make me go, okay.
And I do love
um,
that game.
I have watched Rich play because I'm not very good at games because I panic. Oh, I do a panic and look poo in my pants. So, but I think I might have to bully him into getting this because I think it looks good.
Yeah,
And it's got a lady protagonist, so
it has.
yay,
Yeah.
yay.
I want to say it
Um,
comes out like November time, maybe.
I think it's this year. Yeah, I can't
Mm.
remember exactly. I should have written that down because that would have been the kind of thing a really good, broadcaster would do, isn't it? But
So, but
somebody.
when we go properly monthly, we'll have all the time in the world for all this lengthy research.
Oh my God. I tell you what, I'll be so on the button when we go.
Really, about as on the
Shut
button as I
up.
am.
Shut up. My other little tasty bit of news was specifically tailored to myself, which is that the studio has been renewed for a series two.
Oh,
There's no official dates on it yet, but I'm very glad to hear that because I don't know if you watched all of the studio, but I adored it and it did not end in a ending kind of a way.
okay.
It wasn't like a major cliffhanger, but also it was like, no, I want to know more about this, please. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, so I'm quite excited about that.
I need to go back to it because I haven't watched it anymore since we last spoke. So, but
Mhm.
it's on my list to sort of give another go to.
Yeah,
Did you know that they're doing? I thought you were going to mention it, and I don't think I've got it. They're doing Deadpool VR game.
I did not know that. No.
It's only that news only came out today or yesterday, I think. And it looks like the voice is being done by Neil Patrick Harris.
Hmm.
See your excitement go.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. So, thing is, right? If Neil Patrick Harris was pretty good at being Barney, who was, for all intents and purposes, in How I Met Your Mother, a Deadpool character who's not a superhero,
Yeah.
like a sort of charming asshole twat bag, semi sleaze, funny guy. So maybe I'll be all right. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah. I
Wonder how Ryan
think
Reynolds feels about that.
I think there's a trailer. I haven't watched it.
Oh, I'm
Um,
gonna have to have a look at that.
but it's supposed to be
I'm
coming
scared of
out,
VR though.
yeah, late 2025
Okay.
on the Meta Quest 3.
I'm all over excited because they're doing like a Tony Hawk's Pro Skater game, and you can play as Michelangelo from Mutant Mayhem, and I'm like, yes, please.
Sign me up.
Sign me. I used to be really good at the Tony Hawk games when I was younger. Well, I say really good, I mean better than my sister, which in my household was technically really good.
Yeah.
Probably crap compared to most people. But anyway, I'm rambling. Is there any more sexy news before we wrap up
My
this
last
episode?
bit of news. I'm just now googling because I want to get the blurb, which is a slight. I mean, it's not rant as such, but there's
Let's get agitated.
so the blurb is when a space vessel when a space vessel can't say it, so I'll say when a spaceship crash lands on Earth, a young woman in a ragtag. Why is it always ragtag? Why can't it be like a, I don't know,
Really well put together group.
very well put together, yeah, group of tactical soldiers make a discovery that puts them face to face with the planet's biggest threat. So this is Alien Earth.
Okay.
Have you heard of this?
No.
Yeah, so this is coming to Hulu, so it probably means it will be on Disney, Disney
Okay.
Plus. And it's due to premiere August the 12th.
Righto.
And here's my thing, right? So it's supposed to be set 2 years before the events of Alien.
Okay.
I, I thought kind of the whole point of Alien was like we didn't know anything about aliens.
Well, yeah, wasn't see, I get really bamboozled with the timeline of Alien because I know Prometheus and Covenant come before, like way before Alien, right? Or am I talking shit?
Oh no, yeah, I think Prometheus does, but I can't
Yeah.
remember. I can't remember. I can't keep track of all the flipping Alien films anyway.
But I thought the
But
point, like, I thought the thing at the start of Alien was that they were like, we're going to go investigate this thing because another team investigated that thing and they've gone somewhere offline or something.
yeah,
Like,
I don't know. I thought Alien. I thought this Alien Earth thing. I wasn't really following it. I thought it was going to be set after everything, and it was kind
mm,
of going to turn out to be a big, like, alien invasion type thing of Earth. That's kind of what I thought it was going to be. But no,
yeah.
it's a prequel, and I just
Okay.
like I saw the trailer for it, and the trailer looks interesting. But I'm kind of like my problem with things like this is you then have to do heavy lifting to get it to a stage where you can have Alien.
Yeah.
And
Because
it's
are we
been,
talking xenomorphs on Earth here?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
oh, mm,
yeah.
mm.
And my thing is, it's kind of like, I mean, it can work, like Rogue One proved you could do, it was a prequel to Star Wars and what, and it worked. But I don't know if but my first instinct isn't to get excited about something which is looking back,
Yeah.
even if it turns out to be great, which it could be. That's just not my first instinct is to like get excited about something which is set up to happen before the events of everything else. I'd
Yeah.
rather it be after everything else.
Well,
Um,
it seems like a baffling choice considering Covenant and Prometheus already exist, which are already prequels to Alien.
yeah, yeah. I just thought the idea of an alien outbreak on Earth after everything had happened, and they've spent all these films trying to stop that from happening. I thought it would have been a
Yeah,
great,
that would have been cool.
yeah, would have been cool. People listen to me more often. Um,
I don't know. We might be eating our words in
yeah,
a few
that's what I mean.
episodes'
It
time.
could,
Who
as I said,
knows?
the trailer didn't look shit. The trailer looked good, but I
Is it
just
live action or animated? Sorry.
live
Okay.
action. But it just, oh yeah, it just felt weird. Although looking at the trailer, it didn't look to begin with like the aliens were like front and center. So it's yeah, Yeah, maybe go and have a look at the trailer. But yeah,
Okay, yeah, I'll have a watch of that.
but yeah, that drops in August,
Excellent.
and that's me news.
There we go. That was a bloody episode flipping finale, wasn't it? Core blimey, governor.
It was
It was.
twists galore.
Twists and turns. Ooh la la. Um,
Okay.
Hey, if you want to get in touch with us to say some words at our faces, you can send an email to staceandbarry@gmail.com, or you can find us on Instagram and threads at Geek Syndicate, at Stacey's Parlour. Try smoke signals. Maybe that'll work. I can't read them. I
You're
don't
going
know
to
what
say
they mean.
try smoking.
Yeah, everybody try smoking.
Try smoking, kids.
Yeah, I'm sure they'd love that if my workplace, the NHS, found out that I was going, everybody, have a little smoke, why don't you? Don't do that. If you're already smoking, try and give it up. It's bad for you. And I don't want you to have a bad time. I want you to be happy and that. Look, let's just stop now, shall we?
Why, when you
This,
were digging yourself such a perfect hole?
this is the end of the podcast. Goodbye.
Bye all.
Oh, God, I shouldn't be allowed to have a podcast.
All right, you've got several, so it's all good.